r/ask Reddit. What's a skill you think everyone should have but most people don't? How to Google something. Not really. That'd get like half of all the IT guys laid off. Edit. In case you didn't pick up on it yet. It's a joke. Don't take it too seriously. Just download Adobe Reader. Basic first aid. Not sure if all of Missouri or just St. Louis, but there is currently a bill to make a 2-hour CPR class mandatory for high school graduation. With a lot of crap thrown our way lately, I was very happy to hear a smart progressive idea coming across. Not sure if it would include other forms of first response, but I hope it will someday. Who thinks a population with everyone knowing how to potentially save a life is a bad thing? I think a lot of the lack of first aid knowledge is because most people don't know and aren't properly taught where first aid ends and where the necessity for professional emergency medical attention begins. Mostly in situations where it's borderline. A lot of people don't want to be the person responsible for making that call, which is why I think this is an excellent idea. I'm sure a lot of these students would benefit from knowing when shit is serious, especially on the brink of adulthood. Venturing into college where a lot of irresponsibilities happen. I would definitely vote to have some of my tax dollars go towards this type of education. Changing a flat tire on your car and knowing how to jump a dead battery. For my senior prom we had borrowed a Suburban to haul 4 couples around for the evening. The guy driving wasn't really a great friend of mine, but we got along well enough. His date, girl, whose dad owned the Suburban, was a good friend though. We went to the cheesy Italian restaurant and tried to act all formal and mature and generally had a good time. It's embarrassing thinking about it now, but we thought we were cool. When we left dinner to head to the dance, it was pouring rain. About halfway there, the passenger front tire started thunking. As it turned out, I was the only one in the car with any clue how to change a flat. I took my rented tux off and stripped down to my t-shirt and boxers so I wouldn't ruin it and change the ducking tire in the middle of a downpour. When we made it to the dance I had to wring my clothes out and dry them under the hand dryer in the bathroom. Eventually I got myself back together enough to have fun. When we got back to my friend's house, girl who owned Suburban, she asked me if I would come down to the basement to help her with her dress. As soon as we got downstairs she pulled me into her and said she thought it was sexy that I had saved the night and that I knew what I was doing. She apologized for the ordeal but promised she would make it up to me later. After the others had left it was really late, I think almost 3 a.m. and I was exhausted. She went to let me out and kissed me, then grabbed my hand and pulled me back inside. We snuck up to her room and had sex twice. It was amazing. So yeah, aside from the fact that you could be stranded in the middle of nowhere, knowing how to change a tire can definitely pay off. In my case, it got me laid. The only bummer was that a few weeks later I woke up with herpes. Obligatory username as relevant comment. Spatial awareness. I'm sick of grocery shopping around the inconsiderate and the stupid. Don't stand in the middle of the aisle blocking others. Get out of the way when you're slower, and if you're shopping with others leave room to be passed. Edit. Thanks for pointing out my spelling grammar mistakes. I'm usually better than that. Edit. Thanks for the gold. People like you keep this site working I hear. I'm in my senior year of high school, and good god some people don't know how to walk. The intersection of 2 main hallways isn't a good place to have a conversation. And for the love of all things holy don't stop walking at a random place for no apparent reason. Treat the hallway like a road. Don't block the whole hallway. Keep to the right so that people can pass you. Don't turn corners without looking. You might run into people. If you can't keep an eye on what's around you, don't be on your phone while walking. Quite simply, be aware of other people. Being punctual, not just for professional things. It's rude to keep friends waiting too. This frustrates me so much. I know people who can show up for work on time every single day, but ask them to be there at 6:30 for a movie or for dinner reservations and they just can't do it. Except for the days where I accidentally sleep in for work. I am almost always 10 minutes early to everything I do. It bugs me to be even a little bit late. I don't get how some people are so okay with it. I am also that 10 minutes early person. Sometimes I have the potential to be much earlier, but then I kill a few mints before leaving just to make it less awkward. I really do this with school, even though most of my professors don't give a duck if you skip class. It saved my ass once. I get in my car and every ducking warning light turned on. I drive a Prius. Turns out a cell in the giant battery failed. Anyway, I still live at home, so I called my mom and was like, I need a ride. She only worked a few minutes away, and I was going to a local community college for that semester, which was super close. So all was well. But imagine if I had had a test at class or something urgent. Would have been ducked then. But with meeting friends and such, I plan a time that's good with everyone. So I expect everyone to be there at or before that time. It's just polite. Personal finance, simple budgeting and accountability. They should teach this at school. 90% certain this would be more useful than knowing the different types of clouds. They do. Source: I am a math teacher. I've met a surprising number of people in my life that tell me they can't swim. I find that kind of sad. Swimming is great, and tubing, and wakeboarding, and diving, and other water things. LOL. I am scared of water. I can't describe how terrified I am inside water. However, I started learning swimming 2 years ago, and each day the fear of water in the swimming pool became less and less. I learnt all the strokes and enjoy butterfly the most. Having said that, I am still scared of swimming in the river or ocean or any water body where I cannot see clearly inside. I will swim in unknown waters only to save my life. Until then, pool is great place to swim. Sad, because some people don't live near a body of water to learn. In urban areas there are gym pools, maybe a couple community pools, all of which you have to pay for. I'd agree it's sad if folks don't have access, but that might be the only reason. Turn signals, turn signals, turn signals. Or the guy that has the turn signal on for 2 hours straight. That's the guy above you. How to read a map and understand basic directions. If there's one thing that GTA has taught me, it's that street names don't ducking matter. I have friends that use GPS locally. I mean actively giving them directions within a ducking 10-mile radius. Just look at Google Maps and figure it out. I have friends that get lost out here on Long Island. How is that even ducking possible? Edit. I'm talking local. Guys, I understand if you need to get to another city. I mean, look at East Islip to Deer Park. I have friends that can't do that on their own. I'm not saying GPS is inferior, but for duck's sake learn some sense of direction. You know what blows my mind? There are some people out there who seem to think that giving directions using north, south, east, west is somehow being tricky or obscure. I've seen conversations on Reddit where people are like, just tell me whether to turn left or right at the gas station. Don't give me this east-west BS. East-west isn't BS. It's objective. It's true regardless of where you are and where you're coming from. Let's say I live south of the river, east of Adams Street and west of Jackson Street. That's objective. That's always true. Do you turn left or right on Adams? That depends. Which direction are you coming from? I shouldn't need to have 4 different sets of directions that I tell people. One if you're heading north on Adams. One if you're heading south on Adams. One if you're heading north on Jackson. One if you're heading south on Jackson. Instead, I should be able to tell people, just do whatever you need to do to be east of Adams and west of Jackson. Edited to ADD. I recognize that there are some places where cardinal directions are less useful. For example, many suburbs with curvy winding roads. My girlfriend's parents live on one of those curvy roads, and in that case, I would just say follow Pasadena Road until you're almost at the end. They'll be at number 96, which will be on your left. However, if I were explaining where that suburb is in relation to the city as a whole, I might say it's south of Larch and west of Lakeview. Also, when I am in a car with somebody, and I'm telling them directions, I would definitely say turn left at the next lights, which is Pasadena Road, rather than saying turn south at the next lights. But if I'm giving somebody directions not in real time, like I'm just having a phone conversation about where I live or where I'll be, I'll usually say south of Larch, west of Lakeview. In that context, it's information, not instructions. Cook at an average level. frozen pizza, grilled cheese, or melts, and pasta does not count as cooking. Edit. Pasta equals a pasta dish. A dish includes a sauce, maybe some produce, seasoning, garnish, and even a side. Plopping a bag box of pre-made noodles into boiling water for a set amount of time is not cooking. Making your own pasta is cooking. Mostly because if you have the time and skill to do it, I'm sure you are make a nice dish out of it. Grilled cheese and melt are not the same. For the uninformed, edit. Please don't let this become my highest rated comment. My current highest is a Star Wars reference and I'm pretty damn proud of that. Don't let grilled cheese become my highest rated comment. Edit 2. You duckers made my top comment grilled cheese. I had a Star Wars top comment and you monsters ruined that. That's what I was referencing. Being able to sew a button back on. The button on my pants fell off. Now I have to buy new jeans. My eyes rolled so hard. Hand stitching on cotton pants is one thing, but trying to pierce an average repair kit needle through a heavy denim is a real beach. Plus, most jeans have a snap or rivet type button anyways, so it wouldn't be possible to sew it back on. Critical thinking. I was going to say common sense and bullshit detection, but this covers both. Also our basic logic system. If I were to say most people who make spelling mistakes are younger people, could guarantee you a large number of people would think I have just said most younger people make spelling mistakes. When you are in any research field trying to publish material, you realize that there is a higher level of having to be careful of what is said. Because of that, I'm heavily conscious of what exactly I am saying and logically implying. But when most of the people I talk to are not as consciously considerate to logic, they often misinterpret what I am trying to say, and in the nature of the conversation it's a lost cause trying to explain logic to them just for them to understand what I am trying to say. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.